Yeah, I think we're ready to blast off. What's going on, my fellow rock crawlers? So, we've been out in space for a little while now, just getting our bearings together and just still trying to figure out the kinks of the ship. I love it so far. I think it's nice. A nice aquarium, nice lounge area, great colors. Really bounce nicely off the sun. Yeah, I think home is gonna be all right. But you know, the more crawlers we get, the larger the ship compound becomes. And yeah, and that's all we're just looking for. We have no destination in sight, but we're just trying to just travel along the stars, the cosmos, and figure out the whole point of this thing. Figure out why Earth is there in general. Because yeah. So I digress. All right, so for today's episode, we're going to be reviewing Up First. This is another one of those OG podcasts for me, like the Bill Simmons podcast, to where I had it since like 2017, 2018. That was like the era where I really just got done with music. I think that 2016 was like, that was the cap of it. I firmly will fight to my death that 2009 to 2016 will forever be, well, forever be is kind of hard, but that's the greatest era of music. Those 7-8 years, like, it was different. So anyways, so around 2017, that's when I really got onto podcasts. And the first 3 that I really downloaded or that I want to give credence to are Up First by NPR, The Daily by the New York Times, and then the Bill Simmons podcast. Bill Simmons was the podcast. I did that one on my intro episode, so if you haven't heard that one, please check it out. But yeah, so I will be discussing Up First here. Now, I didn't think about this one in the Bill Simmons podcast, so I might as well just point it out here in the second one. Like I said, we're growing together, so forgive me. But I really think, even though this is a audio medium, we're in an auditory space, I think visuals do matter, and I think the cover art is important. And I forgot to talk about that one in Bill's, and I just think that as far as just grading Bill Simmons podcast cover art, I think it's okay. No frills there, nothing fancy. I think it's just like, green and whatever. I don't have it pulled up in front of me right now. I actually should have that, shouldn't I? No shade, Bill, no shade. The cover art is not the podcast, but anyways. So I think, when you see a podcast cover, you want it to bring you in, and so I'm saying that to say, I think Up First has a very boring cover art. I don't have a scale system for it, but it's just very basic, so that's something to consider right there. Shallow point, not important, but hey, we have a spaceship. You want to have a nice looking spaceship. You don't want to have an ugly spaceship. I mean, who wants to have an ugly spaceship? So, back up to Up First. I think that, so like I said, I voted for blue. So, at a time where I was listening to Up First, I still think my mind was firmly within the left side of things, and in doing so, I, whether consciously or subconsciously, just listen, whatever, without like a critical thought. And I think that that's kind of where I've fallen on the NPR stuff in general. Now that I observe other opinions, and not Up First particularly. I think Up First does a great job of what it's there for. It gives you 3 stories, and 3 stories for the morning. Boom, boom, boom. It's about 10 to 15 minutes long, so for your morning commutes going to work, I think it's good. They obviously tend to skew left, but I think that one is pretty on the nose, straightforward. The hosts, I can't think of their names off the top of my head, but I do like their hosts because they have like a rotating cast of people, and I just don't want to butcher any names because it's like I know them, but also respect too. But there are certain NPR people that when I hear their name come up, I'm like, yeah, they're about to bash whatever's right. It don't even matter. Like, so anyways, I think that Up First is good. Nice, quick, early morning podcast, kind of help you pass the time. It'll talk about certain things. It'll talk about the mainstream things as it should, right within its lane. Not really opinionated. So in that lane, I think that it's pretty solid. Overall, as far as listenability, like I said, I've listened to it since 2017. So I'd be lying if I didn't give it a 5 out of 5 because it's in my morning rotation. I think that it goes to the sense of, one, it's easy to listen to in terms of it doesn't do too much. It's not overwhelming in terms of its opinions. And I think that it has a nice cast of voices that when I hear them, I'm not like upset. And when they come into certain plays, like they talk about whether it's politics or, the Pope or whatever, they have the right voice. They have the right people for stuff like that. And I definitely appreciate it. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and get some of those names out there at the end of this episode so that I can pay them the rightful respect, because right now I do not have my laptop. So we're nearing the end of the episode. And yeah, so for instance, right, Aisha Roscoe, Michelle Martin, and A. Martinez. I think I like their voices. I like their personality. I did forget to add that up first, they do offer longer form things on the weekend, so you're able to get like in-depth stories. So I don't want to take away from their offerings there, but I do think that their Up First is a pretty solid, pretty good listen. They're not in the middle of the road, but pretty middle of the road as far as media standards today, which, and again, look, you don't have to be in the middle of the road, I think, either, in terms of your opinion, because with that, if you're not able to be grounded in a certain perspective, then other people won't honestly see your point of view. That just is what it is, and no one's point of view is necessarily correct. I think we all understand the basic rights and wrongs of life society, but obviously society is a complex thing. So I will add, because I did knock their cover art at the beginning of the episode, I do think their normal main cover art is boring, like a 2, whatever, nothing popping there. But they do, when it comes to the episodes, they do add, they do make, special things depending, for those more focused episodes. So I will give them a 3, because I'm looking at one like a whistleblower takes on Doge. It's nice, it's cool. Nothing too flashy. It's nice, but again, that's specialized in, that's not your cover art. So again, I don't want y'all over there to NPR to think I just think y'all suck at making cover art. I don't. I'm just pointing something out, and yeah. So that's it for today's episode, y'all. I'll be tapping in later to see how y'all are doing, adjusting to the depths of space. I know it can suck sometimes trying to adjust, but we are in it together. Kaboom!